This isn't a philosophical lecture. It's a warning, a raw, bleeding truth you've ignored for too long. If you still believe that being good automatically earns you justice, stop reading now. You're not losing because you're not good enough. You're losing because you don't realize you're in a game. Worse, you're the kind of player who doesn't even know the rules. Machiavelli never told you to be evil. He told you to stop being naive. To understand that in this world, the survivor isn't the nicest person. It's the one who knows when to stay silent, when to be cold, when to disappear without warning. If you're clinging to the fantasy of a fair world, prepare to be shattered. What you're about to read will burn through everything you were taught about morality, goodness, and yourself. So ask yourself, are you ready to hear the truth? If not, turn away now. If yes, then be quiet and listen. 1. The pain no one taught you about. They never taught you how the world really works. Only how to behave, how to hope, how to stay small. You were raised to believe that if you just work hard, stay loyal, keep your head down, and do what's right, everything would eventually work out. But no one taught you how to survive betrayal, that your kindness could become currency in someone else's manipulation, that silence follows after you've given your all and received nothing in return. This is the pain they never put in school books. Watching those you trusted walk away when you're no longer useful. Realizing your goodness was never reciprocated. It was exploited, not because you were weak, because you believed the game was fair. Machiavelli never believed in fairness, because fairness isn't a principle of reality. It's a bedtime story told to the obedient. You weren't betrayed because you were bad. You were betrayed because you expected loyalty in a world that rewards leverage. And here's the part that stings. You gave them access to your time, your trust, the parts of you no one else saw. And they used it not out of hatred, but indifference. Picture this. You're standing in a dark room, holding the remnants of everything you gave. They've already forgotten your name. You thought loyalty was a virtue. They saw it as a tool. Machiavelli didn't write for the admired. He wrote for the forgotten, the man who gave too much, the woman who stayed too long. Anyone who's ever asked, why wasn't I enough? You were enough, but you played the wrong game. You followed the rules of morality in a world built on strategy. No one told you the truth. This world doesn't reward good people. It rewards useful people. And value isn't measured in effort. It's measured in perception, control, and timing. Let's make this brutally clear. If you're too kind without boundaries, they will drain you. If you're too loyal without leverage, they will use you. If you're too forgiving without consequence, they will forget you. Because the world doesn't operate on fairness. It operates on advantage. This isn't a call to become cruel. It's a call to become aware. Because your innocence, if left unchecked, will become your cage. Your softness, if not armored, will become your grave. You've been taught to avoid conflict, to be polite, to never speak up when something feels wrong. But let me ask you, where has that silence gotten you? How many times have you swallowed your voice just to keep the peace, while your spirit shattered behind closed doors? You suffer, but you do it quietly because you think that's noble. It's not. Machiavelli saw what the world doesn't want you to see. Nobility without power is just performance. Suffering without strategy is just submission. If you don't learn how to protect yourself, they will keep taking. Not because they're evil, but because they can. This is the pain of not knowing the rules. This is the pain of believing the system sees you. It doesn't. It sees your output, your obedience, your silence. And when you finally break, it replaces you. If any of this resonates with you, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're waking up. You're starting to realize that maybe, just maybe, your suffering wasn't a mistake. It was a result of being good in a system designed to reward something else entirely. And that changes everything. Because once you see the game, you can learn how to play it, not as a pawn, but as something far more dangerous. A player who sees, a player who waits, a player who learns to strike, not for revenge, but for balance. That's what Machiavelli offers you. Not cruelty, not manipulation for its own sake, but power. The kind of power that doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It doesn't break. It simply stands, unmoved, unshaken, and unbothered by whether or not the world approves. This is how you begin, not with anger, not with blame, but with the truth. You weren't taught how to survive, so now you will teach yourself. And before we move on, ask yourself this. If this pain was never personal, only systemic, what happens when you finally stop playing by their rules? The answer starts now. This isn't a philosophical lie. Society tells you about kindness. A raw, they dressed it up, bleeding truth. Made it sound no long. Taught you still believe that being good automatically that politeness was power. Stop reading now. Generous, you're not losing because you're not. Life would eventually reward you. You're losing because you don't realize you're in kindness without clarity. Worse is a trap. You're the kind of kindness without boundaries is a weapon used. Machiavelli never kindness without awareness isn't virtue. He told you to stop being submission, dress, and morality. To understand that they told you to do the right thing, but never explained the nicest person. They said turn the other cheek. When to stay silent. Never taught you how to defend yourself. When to disappear. They glorified sacrifice. If you're clinging to the never showed you profits from it. Machiavelli saw through the game. What you're about to read. He saw that society does everything you were taught about morality. It rewards usefulness and yourself. It rewards. So ask yourself. It rewards those who understand the system. If not, bend it quiet. Turn away now. And while you were helping everyone, be quiet. No one was helping you. One, while you said pain, no one taught you about. They forgot how to never taught you how the world really works. While you gave second chances, only how to behave. Third, how to hope, and fifth, how to stay. Because society doesn't. You were raised to believe that if you just respect is strategic. Stay loyal, keep your head down, when to say no, and do what's right, when to walk away. Everything would eventually work out. When to give, but no one taught you. You weren't taught that. You were trained to be kindness could become currency, to avoid someone else's manipulation. But being like isn't the same as being respected and received. And being respected isn't the same. This is the pain they never put in school. You can be loved by everyone. Watching those you trust still be used by all of them. No longer because people don't realize your goodness was never reciprocated. They treat you how you. It was exploited. Let that sink in. Not because you were weak. If you tolerate because you believe the game, you invite it. Machiavelli never believed in you become invisible. Because if you never set a boundary, reality, they'll push into a bedtime story told to the abyss. This doesn't mean you stop. You weren't betrayed because you were bad. You redefined kindness. You were betrayed because you real kindness has a spine. World that real kindness says enough. And here's the real kindness protects itself first. You gave them access, then gives them overflow, your trust, emptiness. The parts of you there is no virtue in being exhausted, and they use it. There is no nobility in letting yourself be used. Picture this. You're standing in a dark room, followed by holding the remnants of and while you're still wondering if you're being they've already forgotten your name. They're calculating how loyalty goes before you snap. They saw it you think saying yes makes you Machiavelli didn't write to be admired. It makes you he wrote for. Machiavelli tell you the man a wise man knows when to appear kind. The woman who stayed but a wiser one knows anyone who's ever asked must end. Why wasn't I enough? Fake morality you were in prison. But you played the wrong apologizing for things you followed the rules of morality. It keeps you soft in situations that demand steal. No one told you stop asking. This world doesn't reward good people. Start asking. It rewards why do I need their approval? And value is kindness as approval seeking. It's measuring strength under control and time. So here's the new Let's make this brutally clear. Be kind. If you're too kind without boundaries, be generous. They will drain you. If you're forgiving loyal without not forgetful, they will use you. But never too forgiving because in a world that teaches you to sacrifice. Because the world, the most powerful thing you can do is stop bleeding for those who wouldn't give you a drop of This isn't a call to that's not cruelty. It's a call to become aware. And because self-respect is where left unchecked, power begins. Will become your cage. Now ask yourself, your softness. What if your kindness wasn't a problem? Will become what your if it was just unguarded? You've been taught to avoid conflict. Final note, be polite, the awaken, to never speak this up wasn't a motivation something feels wrong. It was let me ask you. Whereas no one told you the price of how many times have you swallowed no one told you just keep the world ruled by perception while your spirit shattered behind closed doors. The kind-hearted often become prey, but you do it quietly good was because you think that's doing the right thing. It's not you. Machiavelli saw meant something the world doesn't want that your sacrifice nobility without power is just performance. But now you know suffering without strategy is just not unless you change. If you don't learn unless you stop waiting for justice, they will keep taking and start creating not because they're evil. This is about becoming ruthless. This is the pain it's about becoming responsible for your own This is the pain of believing it's about owning the space you've always shrunk yourself to fit your output and realizing that the world never hated your goodness. And when you finally break, loved your compliance, it replaces you. Machiavelli if any of this resonates with you, it's not because you're broken. It's because you got tired of being used. You're starting to realize those that maybe done being stepped on, dismissed, your suffering was a mistake. He didn't teach you as a result of being good, and he taught you to endure with something else entirely, to rise, and that changes not blindly but strategically. Because once you speak only when silence you can learn how to play it. You don't have to become heartless, but as something you do have to become clear. Because clarity is the antidote to manipulation. A player who learns the death of exploitation, not for revenge, so for ask yourself. That's what Machiavelli offers you. Not who profits when you stay small. Not manipulation. What would your life look like if you stopped waiting for permission to take up power that doesn't scream? This isn't the end. It doesn't beg. It's the first page of a new script. It's simply stands, played by you, unshaken, by and unbothered by whether or not hoping to be chosen. This is how you begin. No more bleeding for applause. Not with anger. No more mistaking obedience for but with the truth. You've seen the lie. Taught how to survive. Now you choose. So now you will not to be feared, but to be free. Before we move on, now tell yourself this: are you ready to this pain was never personal? Then start here. Only systemic. One thought at a time. What happens when you finally stop playing by their rules? One quiet answer starts now. The world won't save you, but you can write the story where you no longer need to be saved, and that is the first taste of real power. 3. The power of strategic withdrawal. You've been conditioned to believe that persistence is strength, that if you just push harder, stay longer, fight louder, you'll eventually be rewarded. But Machiavelli knew better. Sometimes the strongest move is to walk away, not in defeat, not in surrender, but as a calculated retreat, so you can return on your terms. The world teaches you to chase, to beg, to prove yourself, but power doesn't beg. It waits. If they take you for granted, disappear. If they disrespect you, remove your energy. If they assume you'll always be there, prove them wrong. Because people don't value what's always available. They value what might slip away. This isn't manipulation, it's leverage. It's understanding that your absence can be more powerful than your presence. Think about it. The employee who quietly improves their skills while others complain, then leaves for a better offer. The lover who stops begging for attention and suddenly becomes desired again. The negotiator who walks away from the table, only for the deal to sweeten in their absence. Machiavelli didn't advocate blind aggression. He taught timing, when to advance, when to hold, when to vanish. Because power isn't just about force, it's about foresight. So ask yourself, where are you overextending yourself for people who wouldn't do the same? Then pull back. Let them feel what it's like when you're not there, and watch how quickly the game changes. For the myth of fairness and why it's holding you back. You want the world to be fair. You want karma to balance the scales. You want justice to reward the good and punish the wicked. But here's the hard truth. Fairness is a myth, not because the world is evil, but because it doesn't care. Nature isn't fair, the strong survive. History isn't fair, the victors write it. Power isn't fair, it flows to those who take it. Machiavelli didn't waste time complaining about injustice. He studied it, he used it, because fairness is a distraction, a way to keep you waiting for a reward that will never come. The loyal employee waiting for a promotion that goes to the boss's favorite. The kind lover waiting for gratitude that never arrives. The honest worker wondering why the ruthless keep winning. Stop waiting. Start acting. Not by becoming cruel, but by becoming clear-eyed. Understand the rules. Then play better than those who pretend they don't exist. 5. The final shift from victim to victor. This isn't about blaming the world. It's about changing your role in it. You have 2 choices. 1. Stay the same and keep getting the same results. 2. Adapt and start winning. Machiavelli's greatest lesson wasn't about manipulation. It was about awareness. Aware of human nature. Aware of power dynamics. Aware that good intentions alone won't protect you. You don't have to become a villain, but you must stop being prey. So starting today, protect your energy like currency. Choose silence over unnecessary conflict. Reward loyalty, but never expect it. Walk away from anyone who sees your kindness as weakness. The world doesn't change for the hopeful. It changes for those who force the change. So, will you keep hoping? Or will you start playing the game? The choice is yours. But choose fast. Because the game doesn't stop whether you play or not. 6. The power of strategic withdrawal. You've been told aggression to believe that persistence, that calmness is always that if you just push harder, anger is stay longer, but Machiavelli understood you'll eventually be rewarded. Controlled aggression. Machiavelli knew better. Not sometimes rage. The strongest move is to walk away. but
not
precision
in
strikes, not delivered with calculation, but as a calculated retreat. Think of a lion, so you can return on your terms. It doesn't roar at every rustle. The world teaches you to chase. It doesn't waste energy chasing. Prove yourself. Every rabbit, but power doesn't strikes. The hunt is over before they take you for granted. Realizes it disappear. This is how you must operate. Remove your energy. Either if they assume you'll always be there, prove them reactive, because people don't value what's truly dangerous. They value it only when necessary. And when they do, it's decisive. Leverage. How to master understanding that your absence can be more powerful than your presence. Oh, weak men make threats. The employee who quietly improves their skills while others complain. 2. Then your first warning to your office. The lover who stops begging for attention. Do it and suddenly becomes desired again. 3. The negotiator never explain away from a table. Oh, justification to sweetness for those seeking approval. Machiavelli didn't advocate blind aggression. The world fears not the man who shouts, but the man who stays silent. When to vanish until he doesn't. Because power isn't just about force. The illusion of it's about high foresight. Victory. So they tell you to take the high road. Where are you overextending yourself victory for people who wouldn't do the same? Living well is then pull back. Let them feel what it's like. Would laugh when you're not there. Winners don't watch how quickly the game changes. They take actual ones. The myth of fairness. History isn't written by those who took the high road. You want the world to be written by those who can. You want karma to balance. This doesn't mean becoming ruthless. You want justice to. It means recognizing and punish the wicked. But here's the high road. Fairness often just passivity in disguise. Not because the world is evil, turning the other cheek, but because it doesn't care. Stop the bully. Nature isn't fair. The strong forgiveness survive. Without power. History isn't fair. Old people don't change because power isn't fair. They change to those consequences force them. Machiavelli didn't waste silent suffering isn't about justice. It's wasted. He studied it. The real high road, because fairness is so completely that your enemies have no choice but to accept your terms. The loyal employee waiting for promotion most misunderstand boss's favorite. They think it's about kind lover waiting for gratitude that never arrives. Machiavelli knew better. The honest worker fear is simply the anticipation of consequences. Stop waiting and start acting. Power uses it not by becoming cruel. The CEO who fires one lazy executive saves 100 employees from complacency. Then play better than the general who executes one deserter. Maintains the discipline of the final shift. From the parent who enforces one clear boundary, blaming prevents 100 future battles. It's about changing your role. How to wield fear. You have 2 choices. 1. Never use it for ego. Stay the same. Only for order. And keep getting the same results. Apply it rarely, but decisively and start winning. 3. Machiavelli's greatest lesson wasn't about so you rarely need to act. It was about awareness. Remember, aware of thy nature. But when respect power fails, dynamics, fear maintains aware control. That good intentions alone won't protect you. You don't have to become a villain. But you must stop being prey. So starting today, protect your energy like currency. Choose silence over unnecessary conflict. Reward loyalty, but never expect it. Walk away from anyone who sees your kindness as weakness. The world doesn't change for the hopeful. It changes for those who force the change. So, will you keep hoping? Or will you start playing the game? The choice is yours. But choose fast. Because the game doesn't stop whether you play or not. 9. The ultimate power move, indifference. The final lesson. Nothing is more powerful than strategic indifference. Not anger, not revenge, not even victory. Because when you truly don't care, their insults don't land, their games don't work, their power over you vanishes. This isn't pretending not to care. This is genuinely redirecting your focus to what matters. 1. Your growth. 2. Your peace. 3. Your next move. Machiavelli's true genius wasn't in manipulation tactics. It was in understanding this. The player who needs nothing controls everything. Final command. Your move. The knowledge is now yours. The question remains. Will you keep being the chess piece? Or will you become the player? Choose. Then act. Because power waits for no one, not even you. 10. The seduction of strategic patience. Most people rush to react, to prove themselves, to claim victory. Machiavelli would call this amateur hour. True power lies in mastering the pause. The CEO who lets rumors swirl before calmly asserting control. The general who waits for enemies to exhaust themselves before striking. The negotiator who lets silence do the heavy lifting. This is not an action. It's calculated timing. Your greatest weapon isn't speed. It's the ability to outweight your opponents while they reveal their hand, waste their energy, grow desperate. Remember, the first to move often loses. The last act usually wins. 11. The death of desperation. Nothing screams weakness like neediness. The employee begging for recognition. The lover demanding reassurance. The entrepreneur chasing validation. Machiavelli's brutal truth. Need repels power. The solution? 1. Become your own source of validation. 2. Reward those who value you. Ignore those who don't. 3. Let them wonder if they're good enough for you. When you stop needing, that's when they start chasing. 12. The power of the unfinished. Most people crave closure. They want everything explained, resolved, neatly packaged. This is a weakness to exploit. Leave conversations slightly unresolved. Let projects linger with untapped potential. Keep them guessing about your next move. Why? The human mind hates loose ends. What you leave unfinished, they'll obsess over completing. Machiavelli's secret. Always leave them wanting just a little more. 13. The art of strategic vulnerability. Conventional wisdom says never show weakness. Machiavelli would say, show exactly the weakness that serves you. The CEO who admits one flaw to appear more trustworthy. The politician who shares a carefully chosen struggle. The leader who shows just enough humanity to disarm critics. This isn't authenticity. It's weaponized authenticity. The rule: only reveal what makes you stronger to have revealed. 14. The illusion of choice. Weak leaders give orders. Strong leaders engineer situations where their preferred choice seems inevitable. How? 1. Frame options carefully. 2. Control the narrative early. 3. Let others think they decided. Machiavelli's insight. People will fight for what they believe was their idea. 15. The final truth about power. After all these strategies, one truth remains. Power isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your attention. The ultimate power move? Becoming the person who doesn't need power games, but wins them effortlessly when necessary. Now go play. But remember, the best players sometimes refuse to join the game at all. That's when you've truly won.